Fabulous people, welcome to my channel and welcome to Italy, the country of many things. Incredible architecture, perfect weather, the best food culture, but unfortunately numerous tourist scams. From Milan to Palermo, every few weeks social media and newspapers share yet another successful attempt to rip off foreign customers in bars and restaurants. So to make sure you don't fall victim to one of the numerous tourist traps, today I'll make you aware of the biggest Italy restaurant scams. Please make sure to share this video with anyone who plans on traveling to Italy soon. And of course, before we begin, please remember to smack that like button. And if you're new to my channel and my vibe, and the vibe of this channel resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe. All right, fabulous people, let's get started. The first restaurant scam that I see happening over and over again throughout all the major cities in Italy, including Rome, Florence, Venice, Milan, etc., is a well-dressed waiter standing outside inviting you to dine at their restaurant, sometimes even showing you the menu. Guys, just think about it for a second. If the restaurant is truly authentic and popular, do you really think that they will need to ask clients to come in? First of all, this kind of places are always packed with locals. Second, they will have lines for miles outside of the restaurant, people just standing and waiting to get inside. Some of these restaurants are so busy that you have to make reservations weeks in advance, if not months. Sometimes they don't even take reservations at all, so you have to come in and actually stand in line for hours. So if a restaurant is begging you to even look at their menu, it's an obvious tourist trap restaurant. Now, another way to tell if a place is a tourist trap is if you see a menu outside with lots of different pictures of the dishes, or worse, the actual Italian dishes just standing there outside chilling. Disgusting. Now, I know in some countries it's actually customary to have plates of food being displayed outside, but in Italy it's a sign that you're about to walk into a tourist trap, so avoid at all costs. Now here I want to mention that it's quite different than seeing someone in the window of a restaurant making pasta. Not always, but often these restaurants actually do have really nice authentic Italian food, but again, not always. Now here I want to pause for a second because I'm sure by now you're wondering, Anastasia, so how to avoid tourist traps in Italy? Of course, I will go into many different ways as we proceed with the video, but one of the best ways is to hire a local travel agent who will organize, plan, and book every single thing for you, from accommodations to transportation, tours, activities, and of course restaurants. Something that my travel agency has been doing for years for clients from all over the world. That will save you countless planning hours and help you to avoid disappointment when you get here to Italy. And of course, I will make sure to leave you a link to my travel agency in the description down below. And please remember, no matter what travel agency you decide to go with, you want to work with a local agent who actually lived or lives in the country you are traveling to, because you don't want to work with an agent who does exact same research online as you would. You want to work with a travel agent who actually goes themselves to those local authentic restaurants and who knows personally accommodation hosts, drivers, tour guides that they will be planning, organizing, and booking for you. Probably one of the biggest tourist traps in Italy are restaurants near tourist attractions. In every video where I share Italy travel tips, I practically beg people to avoid these places, and yet every day when I pass by the Pantheon, Piazza Navona, Colosseum, etc., I see them packed with tourists eating most of the time microwaved, average at best, overpriced lasagna or carbonara. So let me just say it again with hope that as many people as possible will hear me. Please avoid restaurants near the popular sites in Italy at all costs. Of course, you're more than welcome to grab a drink there because, let's be honest, it's hard to ruin spirits, but please avoid eating at those places. I don't want to see any member of the fabulous community sitting in front of the Pantheon enjoying lasagna, which, by the way, does not even belong to this region. If you want the best lasagna in Italy, you have to go to Bologna. And in Rome, stick to traditional classics like carbonara, amatriciana, cacio e pepe, coda alla vaccinara, trippa alla romana. Okay, now I'm getting really hungry. Now, my next travel advice for the restaurant scams in Italy has to do with carefully checking the menu at a restaurant even before you sit down. 1. Read carefully the small print like cover and any service charge for larger groups. Number 2, if you can, ask for one menu in English and one menu in Italian to compare prices. Sometimes, no, actually a lot of times, in touristy places, the menu in English will have higher prices. Yes, it is unfair, yes, it is illegal, but unfortunately it happens all the time. Number 3, one of the tricks that I learned after living in Italy for over a decade is that in tourist menu restaurants, the menu is less likely to include seasonal produce. For example, artichokes or radicchio are seasonal, and because of this, you are more likely to find these ingredients in dishes in good, authentic, traditional trattorias. The same cannot be said about a tourist restaurant. Most likely, you will find standard Italian dishes on the menu in those restaurants like spaghetti bolognese or lasagna. When you receive the bill, I always recommend double checking to make sure everything is correct. If something isn't right, like an extra glass of wine or tiramisu, for example, don't just pay and leave because you don't want confrontations. You have every right to question the bill if something that you see isn't right. Be polite but firm, and you will see how quickly that bill is going to be changed to the right amount. Unfortunately, most of the time when they do bring you the bill with extra charges, most likely they know about it and they're just testing the waters. But if they notice that you noticed, that bill will be changed to the right amount without questions asked. Finally, let's discuss tipping in Italy, and I go into more details on this subject in my video 10 things you should know before ordering at an Italian restaurant, and of course I'll make sure to leave a link to that video in the description down below. First, please know that Italians don't have an obligatory tipping culture, but they know that Americans do. This isn't a scam so much, but an attempt to take advantage of the fact that you are not familiar with Italian tipping culture. So by the end of your meal, you might feel pressured by your waiter to leave a tip. Sometimes they will tell you that the tip is not included. It always is included. Sometimes they will insist on the tip. In rare cases, they will tell you that their shift is about to end and you should pay the bill and of course leave them the tip. In rarest cases, they will literally chase down the street American tourists insisting on the tip. The bottom line, unless your service was truly superb and you want to thank your waiter for extra care and attention by giving them a few euros, do it. Otherwise, stay firm. Please remember that tipping in Italy, be it at a restaurant, a cab, or anywhere else, isn't obligatory. If you feel like you're getting scammed, be it at a restaurant, a taxi, a store, or anywhere else, make sure to stand up for yourself. And if you feel like you're getting nowhere with your waiter or a taxi driver, call the police. I don't want for anyone to feel that just because you're a foreigner, you don't have the same rights. Because trust me, if Italians get themselves in a situation that gets out of hand, they will not hesitate twice to call the police. So know your rights. Always stand up for yourself, and here is the police phone number for you just in case. Alright, fabulous people, thank you so much for watching this video on how to avoid a restaurant scam in Italy. Of course, it wasn't meant to scare you or talk you out of traveling to Italy, but simply for you to be aware of any unpleasant situations that might happen when you're doing Italy travel. And of course, before you go, please remember to smack that like button. And if you're new to my channel and my vibe and the vibe of this channel resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe. And I truly hope to see you all in my next video.